Hey sweet crafty friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing with you over 30 gorgeous Christmas DIYs that are using items mostly from Dollar Tree. This video is packed full of inspiration and crafty tips and tricks that you don't want to miss. Jumping on into this first DIY, I'm using some of Dollar Tree's wooden jars. These are a couple different styles. One is for Christmas and then one was kind of in the everyday decor. I took the 3D parts off of the back, flipped them around, painted them white. I painted the lids black, and then I put a little bit of black and white buffalo check ribbon around the tops of them to give them a little bit of extra decor. I put an adorable little face on there using the back of my paintbrushes. I also painted in a crooked little nose and then glued some accessories to the top corner. I made one of them look more like a little girl and then one of them like a boy, and they were just too cute. I love these so much. I get so many compliments on these, and definitely let me know if you make these or tag me on Instagram so I can see all of your fun Christmas creations. Next up, I am making an adorable little red truck sign with actual like working headlights. This turned out way better than I even imagined, but this was actually in a challenge box from one of my friends, and I was challenged to use these string lights and this little frame, so I thought this would be such a really cool idea to put this all together and use it all in one piece. I started by painting the little frame brown and then using this plank from the Dollar Tree. It has like this scalloped edging. It was perfect, that fit directly on top of the frame. And then I am using some Dollar General window clings. They have these little red trucks, and I was able to use a drill and drill holes in the headlights so that a couple of the little lights from the string lights would poke through. This was such a fun little project, so I definitely recommend trying it. I was able to use another one of the little window clings for a sign at the top. They were kind of like out of place at first, so I did take some of my mineral color chalk paint and did distress over the stickers a little bit so it did blend them in more. For the lights, I had to drill a hole through the sign itself or the photo frame and weave them through so that the battery pack is on the back. I hot glued the battery pack to the back of the frame, stuck in the little lights, glued them in place, and then I was able to glue it all down and kind of put on the final touches. And with the battery pack attached to the back, it makes it super easy to turn on and off, and I just love this so much. It is such a fun piece, but also lights up, so that is definitely a plus. Believe it or not, I am actually going to attempt to use one of these Dollar Tree boas. I was actually nervous at first. I didn't know how it was going to look on a wreath, but I went ahead and painted the wreath white so that it would kind of blend in with the feathers on this boa. And I know this isn't getting full coverage, but I like that natural wood poking through the back. I think it kind of gives it a really cool effect and makes it have more texture. So the first thing I do is tack down the feathers on one side. Now the point of this is I'm just going to be wrapping the bottom so that I can kind of decorate it, but the feathers is going to give it a lot of texture, and I just think they look really, really pretty. I did trim them down because they were super long. I added in some of these little wintry silver picks from Dollar Tree. I glued them in the center and then added in a Walmart ornament. They have gorgeous ornaments at Walmart for like $1.98. You definitely can use a Dollar Tree ornament here, but I thought it was definitely worth the upgrade. It just looks beautiful. I love the white little deer on there. It goes perfect with the boa, but just a really, really fun piece. I hung this on my wreath stand, and it just looked so beautiful and elegant and one of my favorites. Next up, I am making a gorgeous frame that is super easy to trade out the photo. So for this, I'm using one of these new signs at Dollar Tree. These are hands down one of my favorite Dollar Tree items they have right now, and they have some signs that have like the white frame, so definitely pick these up if you see them. But for this project, I actually went ahead and painted the inside white and covered it with scrapbooking paper because I did want more texture. And then of course I had to find a way to use this mini little truck and camper. It is too cute not to put in a DIY, so I decided to set that down inside of the little frame. I took some of the little bottle trees that go with the village. I cut the backs off so they would set inside the frame better, or this little shadow box. I glued them down to the bottom, added in the little truck and camper, also glued a little metal clip to the top of this to hold the photo. This was a super easy project to put together. This would make a gorgeous gift for someone. This is just something that is too cute that you could put a personalized little photo in there, or a little card that had a little note on it, and it would be something really fun to give away. Even though it is Christmas, they could still get it out year to year and think about you, but I think it is a really fun project. Next up, I am using Dollar Tree's wooden gingerbread houses. I knew I wanted to turn this into like a DIY little village. I just feel like personally for me, this gingerbread house just has too many tiny details, and I didn't want to take the time to try to make them look perfect or match in my style. So I'm trying to create a little farmhouse village. This turned out adorable, way better than I even thought, but I am taking some gray scrapbooking paper that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I went over that with some red paint to make this look more like red barn wood. I glued this down just using a glue stick, gave this a little roof. You can see that I thought at first I was going to use the tower blocks, but then I do quickly trade that out for some Dollar Tree popsicle sticks. I just felt like I got a little wider piece that would cover more of the raw edges, and I was able to get the angles a lot better, so I am so happy that I discovered to use the popsicle sticks. And then I added in a little wreath, as you can tell. I went over the roof with some brown truffle paint, added in a black and white gingham ribbon. This is from Hobby Lobby, and then I dabbed on a ton of snow, added in a little wooden grateful word from Hobby Lobby, and I just feel like this just screams rustic Christmas. Definitely my style, but I think it is so adorable, and I will have so much fun decorating my home with this year after year. After making that adorable little barn, I had to show you guys a way to make a coordinating little house. These can definitely be set together or decorate different parts of your home with them. I'm pretty much doing the same thing, except I'm using the white scrapbooking paper. I did dry brush over that with a little bit of white paint just to lighten it up. And then for the roof, I ended up using these little cubes from Dollar Tree. I felt like it looked more like shingles, and I gave the house just a pointy roof. I glued that down and then went ahead and added in a ton of little decor pieces. I used the giant popsicle sticks to make windows and doors. I added a coordinating wreath. I put a little wooden heart in it from Dollar Tree. And then one tip that I do have is if you do want to paint on the little windows and doors, make sure that you do Mod Podge over them, because a Sharpie marker will bleed. So that's why I took the extra time to do those, and then added snow and put it on a stand. But I think this turned out really elegant and beautiful and perfect for farmhouse Christmas. Next up, I'm making a little ornament using the mini truck, which I am just still obsessed with and still going strong. So I wanted to make a tiny little wooden scroll. To do this, I cut down one of Dollar Tree's wooden planks just with a razor knife, and then I added popsicle sticks on the top and the bottom to make it look more like the scroll. And then I picked up this little gift box from Dollar General. It was $1, and I pulled that tiny little truck off of it. I thought it was too adorable not to make a little frame to make it a standalone piece. So an ornament was the first thing that came to mind, so I'm going to go ahead and put this together. I glued the popsicle sticks at the top and the bottom, added in a little hanger, and then a few extra pieces to embellish it. I love crafting with mason jars and making little lanterns around Christmas time, so I'm using 2 Dollar Tree mason jars. These ones had the special little lid with the tea light holder, but you can use the everyday jars if that's all that you can find. I covered them in Mod Podge, and I'm using a mixture of Epsom salt and some of the faux snow, and let that completely dry, and then adding in a few more little berries and greeneries to decorate it up. But I think this looks so beautiful and so much nicer than some of the mason jars lanterns that are hard to DIY. This next sign is perfect for a coffee bar or cocoa bar. I'm making like a Christmas little mug sign. The first thing I wanted to do was create kind of like a faux frame. So I am using one of Dollar Tree's square signs, and I traced around the edges about a ruler's length, so it was super easy to get the spacing right. I painted that gray, went over it with elephant color darker gray paint, so it did look distressed. I painted the center white, and then it looks like I instantly have a frame sign without doing a ton of the work. And then, like I said, I wanted this to be a cute little like cocoa bar sign, so I cut out a mug. I am using cardboard because that's all I had that was easy enough to cut out of. I know sometimes even cutting the Dollar Tree wood is super hard. I did fill in the edges with wood filler so that whenever I paint this, you can't tell whenever it's hanging on the wall that it is cardboard. I painted it red with a little bit of like cocoa or coffee inside with some territorial beige paint, and then I glued a snowflake on the front, and then I'm filling it in with stickers that I picked up at Dollar General. These were perfect to go on this sign. I added some nautical rope to the top. I tied the little knots in the front for more of a rustic look, but this was exactly what I was going for. I just think it is too cute. Next up, we are creating a high-end Dollar Tree sign. This is my favorite thing to do, is to piece these large signs together and create something that looks like it would be store-bought. So I'm using 2 of these longer elf signs. I flip them over and connect them with giant popsicle sticks, paint this white, sand it down so it looks distressed, and then to have that little palette sign look, I do cut down 2 paint sticks. I pick up my paint sticks from Walmart. I painted them the coordinating white color, glued them at the top and the bottom. I feel like this instantly elevates the look and makes it look more put together and store-bought or homemade or whatever you want to call it. And then I picked up these window clings from Walmart. These are so gorgeous, and I love like every one of them on this sheet, so I went ahead and just added most of them on there. I put them down in place and then Mod Podged them down whenever I knew that I liked this sign. I did Mod Podge over all of the stickers after they were in place just to really get a seal on this sign. I drilled a couple of holes for the hanger at the top, did the same thing as the last sign, and tied them in the front. I love that look, added in some greenery, but I feel like this looks like something that you would have purchased at the store. It is so beautiful, and it was so easy and inexpensive, so you definitely have to try. I love these little snow globes, but my Dollar Tree had a ton of these little barns and snowman snow globes, so I wanted to give a few of them a makeover. I did keep a couple of them the same as they are, but I don't want a ton of snow globes that look the same, so I am giving these a farmhouse makeover to make them look more neutral, but you definitely could add in more colorful ribbon if that's what you like. I added in some black and white gingham ribbon around the bottoms, painted over the pictures with white, and I am writing the word joy, and then the the O in the center is going to be an adorable little wreath by using a Garland twist tie. I like to use the Hobby Lobby ones. They're just smaller and look a little bit nicer. I covered that in berries to give it a pop of color, glued everything down in place, added some jute twine and little bows, and I just think this makes an adorable little set. I love making DIY tiered trays, but this little mini tiered tray is so adorable and was so much fun. It just takes 2 of Dollar Tree's little glass candle holder plates and then a candlestick holder, which was glued upside down in between them. I used a mixture of E6000 and hot glue, painted them with white chalk paint, distressed it a tiny bit, and then displayed this with some adorable ornaments. Another easy little Christmas ornament DIY if you're looking for a fun, easy to do little project, using one of Dollar Tree's wooden circles, but you definitely can pick up a wooden circle from Walmart or Hobby Lobby or any craft store. And then this is the super fun part, is getting to use Dollar Tree's rub-on transfers. This is a little eucalyptus wreath. I love this little set of transfers, and I go ahead and put that down, but then I feel like it didn't really look like Christmas, so I added in some red berries, which helped it so much. And then all I had to do was add a little bow to the top and tie back in a little jute twine hanger, but I feel like this was so simple to do. This would be perfect at a little craft party or to get your friends or family involved in making these. You could personalize them, but I think it was a really fun project. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below if you ever found any of these wooden houses. I have only found a few of them, so I try to choose wisely when I went to DIY with them. But I took all the 3D pieces off of the front, flipped them over, and painted the back with white chalk paint. And then I'm creating a little roof, and I was excited that this does have a little bit of overhang, so it looks really cute and more realistic. I glue those on the top, and then I tied around a few little strands of jute twine, or I wrapped it around after I tied it, and then I dangled a little wooden star. I picked up these stars from Target Dollar Spot, but Dollar Tree now has, like, they were carrying this bag of assorted wooden die cuts and pieces that look like it was originally from Walmart, so I've been able to find these really cool little die cut pieces, so you definitely can use the stars that were in that bag if you find them. I added in some embellishments and stitching, and that was how easy it was to put this together. This project is mostly from Hobby Lobby, but it was too cute not to share, so I found these joy letters very inexpensive. I definitely got them on sale, and they are like big chunky letters, so they are definitely worth the price. I turned them upside down so that I could trace them on my scrapbooking paper. I went with this black and white buffalo check print, which is super trendy right now, and I love having pops of that all over my home, so I hope it doesn't go out anytime soon because I am still enjoying it so much. I paint everything white so the edges would be nice and crisp. I cover the J and the Y in the scrapbooking paper, and then I wanted the middle star to coordinate but not look exactly the same, so I did do some faux stitching around that. I added in a twine bow and then some little jingle bells. Another really cool Christmas hack if you want to dress up a plain little pot or any container from the Dollar Tree. I covered this instantly in 1 second with a fuzzy sock, and it gave it such a cool texture and look to it. I just loved it so much, and then I was able to put some Dollar Tree picks down in there, and it dressed it up so inexpensive and easy. But this is a really fun project and turned out really cute. I did add in a little gray bow, but not lying, this literally took like 5 minutes to put together. Next up, this is one of my favorite things that I have made this year. It is so beautiful, and I just enjoy looking at it all the time. I just feel like it is such a higher end, nice looking piece. So I am using one of my leftover summer tiki signs from Dollar Tree, and I am covering that in some gray scrapbooking paper. I always like load up whenever I go to Hobby Lobby and just buy like all of the neutral papers because I use them all the time. It is such an easy way to add so much detail and texture in the background without having to paint that faux background look all the time. So I added that to the back and trimmed it down. I ended up having to add 2 pieces, and then I had picked up these smaller wreaths from Hobby Lobby, but you definitely could go without it and just use one of the natural wreaths from Dollar Tree. Wrapped it in red berries. I'm using one of Dollar Tree's little wooden planks, painted it gray, put on some little home stickers, went over them with white paint, and then whenever I removed it, it made this gorgeous little sign that I put on the bottom, which I feel like made it look so much nicer than just putting stickers on this sign, with the elevation of the sign itself as well as the home looking actually painted on there. And then I added in a burlap bow to the top, but this is just definitely one of my favorite pieces this year. Just really fun and gorgeous and looks really homey and cozy. I did use this little home ornament out of that Target dollar spot, but you also could substitute a Dollar Tree magnet or a little accent piece. I knew I could create one of Kirkland's huge centerpieces that is like $65 for a lot less. So I found Dollar Tree has these little crates that are closed, which glued together make like a large, perfect box, perfect for the size and shape of the centerpiece that I was going for. But they do have a ton of holes in them, so not a lot of surface area for everything to set on. So these square wall planks or wood planks were perfect for this project. I glued them down in place, and it just gives me the perfect platform to decorate on top of, but still get to stick my picks down around it in the holes. So it just worked out perfect. I started by painting this truffle brown chalk paint, and then I do distress over it with a mineral. You can see what a huge difference it makes to distress versus not to. I just feel like it elevates your project, makes it look so much higher end and nicer. I wanted to add in the 3 glass pieces like the Kirkland's inspiration that I'm using. I was actually able to find this super tall glass in the center was from Dollar Tree too, so I was super excited. This worked perfect for that. And then, like I said, I tucked in just some greenery and some picks. Most of these picks come from Walmart, and then the one in the photo had little pops of black and white buffalo check in it, so I do just twist up some ribbon and put down in the edges. This was super simple to put together. You saved a ton of money but get the same elegant look. Going back to using some more crates, this is another really fun, easy to do project, and another great idea to use a crate. So if you have to order them online, I'm not sure if they are in stock right now, but I painted 2 of these with dark gray paint. I want this dark paint to really poke out of the white that I'm going to paint on top. I glued them on top of each other. They were super simple to do. I just wiped off the glue that came out of the edging, and then just mostly dry brushing brushing over this gray so that it will still pop out, but will go with most of my white neutral decor. I added in an adorable little bow, and then using some picks, I tucked them down in the top. I did add in some jingle bells for extra detail, but you could substitute Dollar Trees, but these came from Hobby Lobby, I'm pretty sure. And I just feel like this is so easy to do, and it's such a stupid, simple DIY, but it just looks so gorgeous setting on a table or a shelf, and looks more like a nicer piece than like a Dollar Tree item. Next, I'm going to share with you a way to create a little freestanding sign that has a lot of detail and looks really good without doing a lot of the painting work. So I used a canvas. I just cut alongside of the staples with a razor knife, and then I'm able to pull the canvas off. And then I also am taking a wood plank because that's going to be my stand. I paint both of those with the truffle brown paint. And then I painted a ton of my giant popsicle sticks with white paint because that is what's going to be the backing on this sign. I do like to distress everything, so I took a piece of sandpaper and sanded down the edges. And then after my white paint dried, I'm cutting off the little circular ends to fit, and then that just gives me the perfect backing for this sign. I was actually, I found this gift bag first, so I was really inspired by this little vintage looking truck. I knew I wanted to cut it out and add it into some type of rustic frame. So I did feel like the trees were kind of really fake looking after I got them cut out. They look really choppy, so I added in some 3D little garland ties on top of it to look like it had real trees. I do add in some snow and then glue the truck down. I love those metal words from Dollar Tree, so I glued one of those at the top. I glued it down on the stand and then added in some extra greenery and berries for extra decoration. They just look really, really cute whenever you add all the extra details. If you are looking for some easy, inexpensive garland, this is a perfect DIY for you. I'm actually taking some of Dollar Tree's cheap garland that comes in a ton of feet for just $1, and I actually end up cutting that in half and folding it in half again. So it's actually like 4 strands. It does shorten the width, but you could just buy as many of those Dollar Tree garlands as you want and twist those together. I like to secure each end with rubber bands and then kind of twist or braid them together. I added in a ton of different garland ties to give them extra texture and detail. They look higher in whenever it looks like it has more than one type of greenery. I'm using the tiny little red trucks from Walmart, but I think that some people were actually finding those at Dollar Tree last year. So wherever you find them, or you could even use the larger ones from Dollar Tree. And then I substituted Dollar Tree black and white buffalo ribbon with this higher end like buffalo check with the burlap, which came from Walmart, and it looks so nice. I glued my truck on top of the knots so that they really popped out, added in some wooden snowflakes, but you could add any type of decor, anything to match your style, but I feel like this is such a gorgeous garland and very inexpensive rather than what you would have paid at the store. I was actually challenged to use tuna fish cans in a DIY project, So I racked my brain over this a million different ways. What could I do with it? I ended up thinking about stacking these on top of each other, and originally I was thinking snowman, but after I got them stacked up and I had one of those fuzzy white auto cloths, cleaning cloths, I covered that in this and thought it would be perfect for a marshmallow guy, kind of like the little marshmallow mugs that you see everywhere in cocoa bars. So I also picked up a little small square canvas from Walmart, so I painted that brown to match like a chocolate bar, and I wanted to turn this into a s'more. So this ended up turning out cuter than I even imagined. I was kind of nervous about it for a bit, but the white little cloth went around there perfect and made it look like an actual marshmallow. And then the Dollar Tree square wooden planks was perfect for graham crackers, so I painted them brown and gave them some detail to look more like real graham crackers. Then it was the fun part to put all of this together. I put the chocolate bar down first and then glued the cracker on top. It was so adorable. I wasn't sure at first how I was going to get a little face on there. I knew if I painted it, it would bleed, or if I used a Sharpie, and it just wouldn't look good on this fuzzy fabric. So I ended up using my Cricut and cut that out, and I'm so happy I did because it looks really cute and his face turned out perfect. But this would be something really, really cute to display on a coffee bar or cocoa bar, but a really, really cute little item that is just fun to display. Creating another fun Kirkland DIY, this little snowman head in a candle ring was like 56 bucks, so I thought that was super expensive, and I knew we could create this on a budget. I had already created a little snowman out of a Dollar Tree globe earlier this year, so all I had to do was really create like the ring part of it. I used a natural wreath from Dollar Tree and added in a wooden circle from Walmart. I stuck those together with some tumbling blocks, spray painted it black after attempting to paint it black, and it didn't cover it very well. And then using a little office organizer cup, I glued that down for to give the snowman some height. And then this is a little snowman I had already pre-made. I did trade out his hat for the Dollar Tree black and white one so that it did match the Kirkland's one. I stuck around a ton of greenery and then glued down some picks randomly and filled it in, and I feel like it just looks so nice and actually looked really, really close to the original photo. These are one of my favorite picks, the little cotton picks, and they made it look really full on the edges, but I did kind of select smaller stuff to put in the front so it didn't cover his face.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased.
This is one of my favorite Dollar Tree products that they had this year. These little frames with the wooden hangers. I hope they come out with more things with little wooden beads. They're so trendy and I love them so, so much. So I knew I could create something nicer looking with these. I wanted a better background, so I traced one of the frames and then folded my paper in half so that I could get two squares the same size. I Mod Podged these down and put that down for the backing, and then using some of Dollar Tree's little wooden DIY pieces, I used a snowflake and then one of the little trucks, added some greenery to the top, and that's how simple that I made over these signs. They look so good hung on hooks, but you also could just put these anywhere. They're just so small and easy to hang. I just think they are really, really cute and super fun for like a buck.
'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you.
To create some really cute wooden presents, I'm using some of these wooden drawers. I actually stacked up one of them so that it would be taller and then left two of them just single. I did fill this in with wood filler to hide the crack and make it less obvious, and then you have to sand that down before you paint it. And then I'm pretty much doing the same thing that I did to that crate project before. I covered it in gray chalk paint and then painted over that with white. I really want that gray to poke through and look really rustic and farmhouse. And then you could opt for this ribbon, but I am using this Hobby Lobby. It is a tad bit more pricey. I did get it on sale, so it's just a couple of bucks, but I feel like it needed this smaller ribbon. I wrapped it both ways, hot glued it at the top, and then added in a ton of greenery and pine cones and berries to really dress this up.
Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da.
Another really fun project using the wooden planks. I love trying to come up with ideas using these because a lot of people are finding them right now. I love the square ones because I feel like they are just different than the rectangular ones. I love both of them, but I'm so excited they put out two different styles. But I love these square ones because they are perfect for like larger ornaments, or these are kind of big for my tree or what most of my ornaments look like, so I just hung them on hooks. But I wanted to create some little wooden presents. These would be so pretty hanging off of like a shelf or even setting on a tiered tray. But I Mod Podged on scrapbooking paper, added in popsicle sticks for the little piece at the top, and then just decorating them with bows and jute twine hangers. These are so inexpensive, but these would also make really cool present tags and be really big and something that they could save, but a really easy project that is multi-purpose and fun to do. Next up, I was trying to be really economical here, and I saved my fall sign. So I actually flipped it upside down and filled in the nail holes. I didn't get to use this for fall, so I thought it would be really fun to turn this into a Christmas project. So I am using the back. I painted it gray, distressed over that with gray. But the really fun thing here is I was able to use some of my wooden pumpkins. I stacked them up and they made the perfect little snowman. So I was able to paint them white, put on a little face and a hat, give him some arms, and it really turned out adorable. I was actually pretty shocked myself because I didn't know how it was going to turn out. For the hat, I actually used a Dollar Tree little snowman and cut the little face that was on there off, so it fit perfect. It's kind of more like a flat, but it is like fabric-y or felt, so it did have a lot of texture. I used paint pens to create the little eyes and then orange paint for the nose, and added in some buttons and a scarf, but he really came to life and looks really, really cute. I thought it was really cool how I was even able to reuse one of my little fall picks. It had these sticks in there. This is from Walmart, and I actually took out a couple of the little branches for his arms, and they look so realistic. After I glued him down, I wanted to give it a little border edging. That's why I didn't paint all the way to the edges, and I did a tan color and went around there, but I think he turned out really, really fun. Sticking with our little reuse the fall decor theme here, which I really do enjoy doing to feel like I didn't waste my money on items, I painted this little fall wooden, or it's not wooden, cardboard box, and I painted it white and then distressed over that with gray. And I just feel like this was such a facelift for this box. I did tie the rope on the inside but gave it like a little hanger instead of the ribbon hanger that came with it. I picked out a little ornament. This one has the red and black check on it, which I think is gorgeous, perfect for cabin cozy Christmas. I wadded up a little piece of craft paper so my flowers wouldn't sink to the bottom, or these little picks, but I think most of these came from Dollar Tree. They had beautiful picks. I know they are running short now, but they do have some really fun options. Also new at Dollar Tree are these mini little canvases on the easel. I actually expected this to have staples in it, so I got my knife ready, but it didn't. It was just glued on there, so I was able to peel that off very easy. I cut down my scrapbooking paper that I wanted to use as the background and then glued that down in place. I added it on cardboard to make it a little bit more sturdy, but then I was able just to glue on my embellishments. I used a wooden snowflake, which kept on with the little cabin woodsy vibe. I think it is so cute. Added in a hanger and some embellishments, but super easy to make these ornaments, and then once again you could use these as gift tags if you choose to. Another fun ornament idea is just to take any kind of design on paper. This is actually scrapbooking paper that was sent to me by a sweet subscriber. It said Merry Christmas on this gorgeous background, so I thought this would be perfect to make its own little ornament. I stuck it on one of the little wooden planks. You can see that I've used those a ton through this video, so if you see those, make sure you stock up on them because I can use them all the time, so I know you'll find good use for them. I painted around the edges brown so that this little ornament will look framed. I Mod Podged down on the Merry Christmas little paper. I Mod Podged over that, let that dry completely, and then it had these little vines kind of poking out the white little leaves, so I am kind of going with that little theme there and tracing over those little vines, and I continued going all the way around. And then it was so easy to add in a nautical rope hanger and then a little bow to the front. I do like to add the little wood piece on top of the hangers in the back to make them a little bit more sturdy, but just a really, really fun little ornament. Thank you all so much for coming along and crafting with me today. I had so much fun putting these projects together and then putting them all in one place for you guys to see. These are such like gorgeous high-end pieces that I am so proud of. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below if you have gotten to make any of these crafts this Christmas season. I would love to know. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And happy crafting. I am so excited that we are getting so close to December, or closer to Christmas, and it is just so much more fun to craft whenever Christmas is close by. Thanks again for watching and happy crafting. Bye!